And I really didn't do anything over those 3 weeks, but by the end of the 3 weeks, I wasn't better, I was worse. And I'm like, oh no. So I went to the elders and I just said, look, I'm broken. I don't know what happened. And people had been telling me for years I was going to burn out, and I didn't believe them. And I thought in my head, pride, that's for weak people. That's for people who can't hack it. I'm not one of those people. I'm strong. I can do this. I'm the exception to the rule, and you're always the exception to the rule until you're not. And so it's like my body went on strike and my mind went on strike, and it was awful. I was probably clinically depressed that summer, and gradually little flickers of light started to come back. But I spent the next 3 to 5 years getting back to normal, but also realizing that my normal was dysfunctional. That if I went back, because when you're sick like that, and people who have burned out know what that feels like, it's awful. I wouldn't wish it on anyone. But you're like, I just got to get back to normal. But then the light started to dawn, and I'm like, wait a minute, normal got me burned out. If I go back to normal, like this is going to happen again in a month or 6 months or a year or 5 years. And I don't want it. So I started to become a student. As I got like to 70, 80% functioning, and I could like do my day job, and people didn't, on the outside, you didn't really notice a difference, but on the inside, I still felt pretty broken. I started to study, okay, how can I make sure this never happens again? So I read books, I got coaching, I got counseling. I don't think I listened to podcasts. It was sort of pre-podcast, but it was like I was just voraciously consuming information to try to figure out what I needed to do. And by about year 5, I got back to 100%, but it was a new normal. And I've been living that for, 15 years now. And I wouldn't trade it for anything. It just works. So I haven't burned out. I get tired. Like I've had a really busy stint as we're doing this interview, but I know I'm not burning out. I know I'll get a good night's sleep tonight. I got one thing on tomorrow, and I fly home, and I'll be good as gold tomorrow night. I've become a student of my body, a student of my limits, a student of what I can't do. And ironically, by focusing on where my limits are, I've accomplished way more in the last 15 years than I did in that decade and a half leading burnout.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel for more finance, governance, and fundraising news and insights for your church or ministry.